Hi, Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. We're back in the Abilene Public Library. We haven't been here in a long time, but it's a familiar place to our viewers in the Malott Room. Jane Foltz, City Manager, Abilene, Kansas, and we're here to talk about our town. Abilene is doing so well, Jane.
It is.
So well. It's been a fun year for us as a community. So many good things, but I haven't had a chance to welcome you to this show as City Manager. Welcome, Jane Foltz. We're so happy you're here.
I'm very happy to be here.
Tell us about your list of good stuff, and then I'll chime in. But
okay.
From the City Manager's chair, how's the Abilene doing?
Good things are happening in Abilene. That's kind of our theme.
Okay.
As I talk with my department heads, we meet weekly and talk about what's going on in each department. And at the end of our meetings, I say, okay, now what are some good things happening in Abilene?
That's great.
And we want to continue that theme. You know, when I took this position as interim in June of last year, it was an opportunity to keep things moving forward. We had a lot of good things going for us. We didn't want to lose momentum as a staff.
Right.
And that's why I stepped up and said that I thought I could handle this. You know, Parks and Recreation, where I came from,
Right.
every day's an adventure. Every day was changing. City Manager's position, pretty much the same, just different things.
Right.
Every day. You never know what's going to walk in the door. Things that are discovered. Those, you know, it's just a great challenge. I think it was good for me personally. 18 years in Parks and Recreation, you get where it's pretty easy. And my brain needed a challenge.
That's
so
good. Hey, I've got a fun story for you.
Okay.
I was on Fort Riley. Our company now serves Fort Riley. I was over there meeting with the tech crew, one of which was raised in this area. And I said, I got to run. I got to make it back to Abilene by 1:30. I'm sitting down with Jane Foltz, who's now the city manager. And he says, Jane Foltz? I said, the Jane Foltz from Parks and Rec? I said, yes, it is. He said, as long as I can remember, he's a young guy, as long as I can remember, Jane Foltz has been leading Parks and Rec in Abilene.
yeah.
His entire growing up years and all the things that he did in those groups, those youth groups, he associated with you. Now that's a great thing.
That is.
That's a cool thing. I thought.
I've raised a lot of kids in Abilene just having been at the pool since
Yeah, he mentioned that.
45 years.
He mentioned that.
This year, and so I started there as a lifeguard, and then became the pool manager, and you know, some of the people that I run into in the city manager's office today are some of those kids that I helped raise at the pool.
So I'll bet nobody in the interview process had the nerve to say, "Are you invested in Abilene?"
No. No, I think, you know, I think that's what makes this a fairly easy transition.
Yeah.
We have a lot of momentum going, as you know, working with the new hotel coming in, taking care of some things that were on the books for like 10 years.
Right.
When Dennis Kissinger came in and helped us that first 6 months, I gave him those big projects that just couldn't get moving forward as I transitioned in, and all those things have come to fruition. I mean, they're moving. We've got signed contracts from the new developer with the Holiday Inn.
Right.
You know, the Northeast Drainage has been designed. It will be moving forward this year to take care of some of that
Right.
area up there for economic development on North Buckeye. You know, we did the Little Ike Park. That was one of my last moves as Parks and Recreation Director, making that downtown
Right.
just that much more inviting. And so you just don't want to lose momentum. And anytime you bring in a new city manager, or anybody in leadership, you lose that momentum because
Agreed.
they don't know the community, they don't know what's been done in the past, and it just helped us keep moving forward, and I think that's a great thing.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's a great opportunity I get to say the hard stuff, and you just get to smile and nod if you agree. See,
Okay.
that way I take the political heat.
Okay, awesome.
So when you bring in new people, okay, so you bring in a new person, and they go, you know, I need to walk real carefully here, and it'll take me a couple of years to get my feet on the ground. And so progress becomes that speed because they chose that path. Or you bring in a new person who's super aggressive and says, boy, I see all these things, that 10-year backlog, I need to fix this right now. Then this side starts resisting. That's a natural thing in leadership changeover. We avoided all that.
We did.
So you had the relationships
are there.
and you could come in and not, your department heads didn't feel pushed by you. They already knew what was coming. They knew what to expect.
Right.
Nor did you have a fear of needing to go real slowly so you could survive.
Right.
We're gifted with that in Abilene. This is working for us.
Well, and I think it's important that, you know, this is my community. It might be your community, but it really is my community.
Right.
And so I don't want to do anything unreasonable. I'm going to be here after I finish this position. I want to do what's best for this whole community as we move forward. And I'm not here to pad a resume. I'm here to do what's right for the community.
We're in a good position.
I
really
think we are.
So, you know, I want to bring up the things I think about it. I think the construction going across 8th Street up there to connect 8th Street over to the Great Plains Manufacturing West building, if you will, the old Alco warehouse. And that is just so much bigger than a street going in. It's just
You are right.
so much bigger, and means so much more to our future than just a street being connected. It opens up opportunities of commerce. It changes traffic flow from a very negative situation to a very positive situation. And there will be opportunity on both sides of that street as we grow forward through the years.
You're exactly
That
right.
if we didn't do that, wouldn't happen. And we would have put that burden back on Great Plains Manufacturing and on our roads around the block. That's a
And you know, the
decision.
good thing about that project is we had such good positive participation by homeowners that were going to be burdened by that possibly, by some of the community businesses. You know, I think of Van Diest and you know, it goes right past our recycling center, so we're going to get a good road. So those people who don't like to drive on a sand road will now get to recycle even more. And then, you know, the hawkers, the burgers, the Phalens, they all participated. They thought this was a good thing. So having all those people, it helps that project move in a positive direction. And I really think it has.
I agree. Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I think I have always been out in the public venue since I started working for Eagle many years ago now, 2006. So, but I've rarely seen or felt the sense of optimism that there is today. I've seen it in the community. I really see it when the little coalition of the willing, I call them, Abilene Forward, gets together. There's no formal organization there at all. It's just a group of people who decided it would be better to cooperate together and make things happen than it would be to set apart and complain. But I see that momentum. So Fred and his wife, Hope Motors, and their baby attends every meeting of Abilene Forward, and I look, and they always sit over here so when the baby needs to walk or cry, it's not intrusive. I look at that and I say, that's dedication to our community. Because that meeting starts 6:30, you know, 6:30, goes for an hour and a half, and
They see the importance of downtown.
Absolutely, and they're there, they're invested, they have ideas, they're willing to help, they put a new bench, they paid for it themselves. It isn't, hey, what can I get the city to do for me? But these are things that can help all of us do what we do.
Exactly.
Such an important thing.
Yeah, and it's just planting those seeds for that future, whatever that is in the downtown. And, you know we had a 2010, I think it was, streetscape plan, and it was $2 million. So what can we take from that plan and incorporate in small bites? And so, you know, we were very fortunate that Westar came to the table and said, hey, we're going to redo some lighting. What do you think?
Right.
Let's do Buckeye. Well, that's our corridor.
Right.
Well, 3rd Street's the other corridor.
right.
So we ran it right up 3rd Street at no cost to the city, except for a little bit of concrete that we had to
Right.
put around in some places.
And that's just cooperation.
It is.
And saying, yes, we
and
can
saying
work
yes.
together.
Yeah,
yes, I'm not going to
absolutely.
put a burden in front of you, Westar, and
Right.
excessively burden you. We're going to cooperate with you. And thank you for the wonderful LED lights.
And yeah,
And the new wiring.
It's gorgeous. And the wiring's underground. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, very cool.
So, yeah, and so the next thing with Abilene Forward, they have been visiting with me, and so we invested some money as a city for new trash cans. I know that the trash cans that are on the sidewalks now are well, I think
Heirlooms.
1980, I saw the first one at the pool, because we had
Okay.
2 of them.
Okay.
And so they've been around a few years, and some of them have shown a lot of wear.
Sure.
And so we're going to slowly incorporate this new design, which is what's at the Little Ike Park, throughout the downtown. And what we're
Right.
doing right now is that main corridor, that
Right.
that thoroughfare, the gateway,
Yeah.
Buckeye and 3rd, and then hopefully we can transition out into the side streets and make our downtown look that much better.
You may not be surprised by this, and Dave's heard me say it before, but there's a lot of people watching TV that probably haven't. For years, I met with your predecessors, everyone since I've been in Abilene, and said, go put a crosswalk on that 14th Street so the high school kids don't have to dodge people. And everyone to a person told me, KDOT won't let us do that. And I would say, I'm sorry, this is our town, our children. You either ask if you want to, but it has to happen. It did not happen until just now, right?
You're right.
And the first thing was
That was
cone.
cooperation.
It's cooperation, but it's a spirit of moving forward. It's a spirit of solving problems versus a spirit of living within them.
Yeah, and that's going to keep our kids safer than they were the day before it got
And
put
all
in.
it is, you
You know.
some paint and a blinking light.
Yeah, and you know, the kids I think miss Ellie, and I think Ellie misses the kids
Yeah.
because she was up there for that short time. Our new superintendent, Greg Brown, saw that it was
Right.
a problem, and he and Lon and I got together, and I'm like, well, let's do this.
Well,
I guess
Kurt
I
from the National
forgot.
Guard was
Yeah.
up there for 2 years,
Yeah,
flagging
yeah.
traffic. So, but that is the spirit of the citizen acting for the good of the community.
Right.
But we can sit here today within you as a capacity of city administrator and me as a person of interested party can say that the city stepped up to its obligation to help solve that problem, and it is solved.
And you know, if it stops one car and one kid
Yep.
from an incident,
Right.
money well spent.
Oh, money well spent.
Money well spent.
Money well spent just to let the community know that we care about the people dodging cars on the road.
And we know that 14th to Vine, Buckeye to Vine, 14th Street, Buckeye to Vine, that is one of our projects that we have moving forward. Now, what year, we're not sure. We've still got to work those details out. But we know that that blinking light can be used in that project.
Right.
Because we made sure that it could be modified to work in that new project down the road. So we're not spending money twice.
I had a new employee ask me one time, what should I know about Abilene? And I said, never try to drop your kid off at the middle school by turning left.
That
You
is
go around the block, keep the traffic flow going. I said,
That's right.
you'll make everybody in town mad if you try to turn left.
Yeah, so, you know, we have some things on the table that we want to better this community, and one of those areas is that 14th Street. Lon and I laughed because we've been talking about it for so long, and I said, well, when are we going to do it? So we're looking into that. You know, just some improvements that are happening throughout the city in our parks. We're looking at Westar, another partnership
Right.
of cleaning up some electrical and lighting
good.
and those kind of things, because everybody loves the fair.
Sure.
And so, whatever we can do to help move that forward. So it's just getting with the people in our community and working together. And that's how I got a lot of things done at the Parks and Recreation
That's right.
Department. So I don't think I'm going to change my plan as city manager and do anything differently than I have done in the past.
Just widen the impact.
Our
zone.
projects are quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
But
Just one is just a zero.
yeah,
change. Just
yeah,
a
it's
zero
just
over
a
there.
0 or 2 or 3. So good things are happening in Abilene.
So I
you know,
saw
we
the
had a-
graph.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw the details inside the graph. And so we have some fund balances in the positive.
We do.
And that represents opportunity. Some of
Correct.
the represents opportunity, positions that went unfilled. But that means when there's fund balances, it means there's a chance of solving them. And
Exactly.
it also means that we have done a good job of managing cash.
Correct.
And that's, not every city can say that.
And we've had that conversation as we move. Well, I just had it before I came here with the finance director, Marcus Rothschild. And, we're already talking about 2021 and things needs that were unmet, and how can we fill those needs and still keep the mill levy the same, and not make it a burden to our taxpayers, but also continue to get projects done. And so that we will be looking at that very closely and presenting that 2021 budget end of July, 1st of August. I really like working numbers.
Okay.
I think it's important to get the most you can out of every dollar that you have. We've have a couple fund balances, our water and sewer, I think, not intentionally, but just kind of got left behind.
Right.
And so we have to make up some of that. And those are enterprise funds.
Right.
So, which means the money has to come in order to go out.
Right.
So they're a separate fund. And so we will be working diligently to get that to start. We're trending up, it's just starting to go up. We've only been a year at this new rate, but you can't get a lot of work done if you don't have any money to put
Right.
into it. So
Historically, it seems to me, since I came to this area in 1992, it's the first time I really was involved in how inner workings of local government worked. But it seems to me that sewer and water are the easiest sell ever, but rarely do you find a city preemptively doing a good job of selling it. I think we've walked our way into this pretty well, frankly, talking about water, and from water derives sewer rates. So, but I think we've done a good job of talking about water in Abilene. I think we've done a good job of looking for water. I think we've done a great job of building a good water treatment plant. And
You're right.
maybe we don't say that enough to the camera or to anybody, but we're blessed with quality water. But that quality of water takes a certain amount of investment and strategy.
it does.
You can't just take more water from the river. You can't just take more water from Sand Springs. You have to
Right.
be mixed together to make that work. Now, the employees who work for you know how to do that. Nobody behind the camera pays much attention to that.
Right. If the faucet turns on and there's
And
water,
it's good, clean
they're happy.
water. But we're so blessed in Abilene
Yeah.
that we can look at industrial growth, but it won't be free. We have to
Exactly.
invest in water and water resources to do that, and resources can't be there if we don't pay the bill, the
Right.
consumers.
Exactly. And so we are looking into that. And, we talk about water, and we're continually looking for new water sources. We are in a good area of Kansas. We
Right.
don't have a lot of water issues. Our water tables are very high. We've had a good last couple of years of moisture, so that helps maintain our water levels.
Right.
When it's turning on in the faucet in your house, people are happy. When it's not, they're not so happy.
That's true.
It's hard to invest in stormwater and sewer and water lines because they're all underground. You can't see them. They're not like Little Lake Park and have
Right.
it so cute at Christmas.
Right.
So that's a little more difficult to sell.
But I think we understand that, and I think as long as leadership, government leadership, is transparent to the people and does so regularly, I think people will think about it correctly. Now, tie this together. You can disagree with me if you want to, but if you do, we're going to argue the rest of the time.
Okay.
Okay. So we talked about Abilene Forward, and we talked about this spirit of cooperation. Cooperation leads to understanding, in my experience. So all of the cooperation that we have both commented to already here, you've built a listener base through this cooperation that's prepared to hear the story about water and sewer. And I think we're selling it right here. So as you proceed forward, I want to tie it back to those people that showed up down there and picked weeds every Saturday morning for 7 Saturdays. The spirit of cooperation to bend over and pull weeds for a solid hour and a half. And that sounds like a short period of time. I assure you it is not on my old back. But anyway, pulling weeds, that spirit of cooperation says, I'm willing to listen, Jane. I'm willing to help. And we have that going on.
I think you're exactly right. Again, with this being the community that I was born and raised in, it's important to have the trust of the people. And I'm hoping I am showing that you won't see anything reckless with me. Everything will be studied, researched, and, you know, we're looking at a street maintenance plan. We're looking at what streets are most used, and in the worst shape. Those things need to happen in order for the next people that come along. Whether you're looking at a street plan or we're doing a water model. So it's going to tell us where we have the most issues as not enough pressure, so that industry, if they want to be up by the highway, I-70, we may have to put in some boosters or somehow grow that system so that we can promote and support those new businesses. You know, we're looking at the Northwest Industrial Park area. We've talked about it a long time. We have some real interest out there. So as a city, what do we need to do to promote that going forward? And so we're looking at that. We have a lot of irons in the fire. All good things that will help promote Abilene, will help our tax base, will help our citizens. You know, just the influx of 24/7 and Loves, that has been tremendous.
Shows up in a retail tax
It
collection.
does.
Sure does.
It takes a lot. You have to buy a lot of pop in order for that to show up. But we're selling gas out there, and convenience store items. There's a lot of, go by either one of those all hours of the day and night, and it's busy. It's great.
Speaking of busy, we've used up 25 minutes.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm
Okay,
not. Dave
good.
gave me the 2 fingers about 2.5 minutes ago. Thank you, Jane Foltz, for sitting down and sharing with the people about what's going on in our town. Congratulations on the job. Very, very happy you're sitting there. Very happy that you're willing to say yes when I ask you for an interview.
You bet.
That's well done.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you again.
Let's do it again.
Okay, we will.
All right, thank you.
My name is Dennis Weiss. This is Jane Foltz, the City Manager of Abilene, Kansas. I work for Eagle Broadband. Wishing you a great day.